Take a swig of that. Should've got some.
Go get a drink. We are live.
Yeah, welcome to the machine room. This is the machine room podcast, and I just came into the picture like freaking Kramer and Seinfeld. I'm your host.
The hair.
I just needed the hair. Just pretend it's the beard, you know? So, whoa. Whoa. With a Sprite in my hand. I'm
Exactly.
Nostradamus, and along with me, of course, is the lovely Hammer of Venus. And welcome to Machine Room Podcast.
Yes.
Whew. Sorry, I'm out of breath because I just ran.
You legit ran. It was funny.
Legit ran. It's a good thing the little mini fridge is like right there, but still, it's like I couldn't go straight. I have to go around the sofa, you know?
Oh.
And it looked like it's like a J, so I have to go around that and then round it's if I could have gone through, it would have been an easier mission, but it wasn't.
Just jump that shit like a hurdle.
I should have done that.
Yep.
But I probably would have busted my shit. So most likely would have saw me bust my shit coming back.
Bloody. Nose all bloody.
Bloody as fuck. And right here, welcome to the machine room.
With your orange hoodie.
Oh, yes. I like to stand out sometimes.
Look like a pumpkin.
And that's the ASMR, was me opening my pop can. Big ups to those that are here in the freaking live show in the chat room. Right now we see in the chat, Spendog says that I should be in the Olympics for 2024. If there's a sport to who can run and get their soda can faster, I'm sure I'm a contestant.
Olympic couch jumping.
There it is. We should make it happen.
Just a bunch of old grandma couches, and you have to jump them like hurdles. With the plastic on them.
Ooh, shit. You probably get stuck on it.
Probably.
Once you put your hand on there, you just get stuck like Spider-Man. What the fuck? Yes, I remember those days when people used to do that. I should do that for these fucking couches. I wouldn't have to have cat hair all on them, but
I used to have this pleather couch or a pleather love seat in my bedroom, and that's what I used to make my friends that stayed the night sleep on, and they'd wake up like stuck to it. It was the funniest shit.
You did it intentionally.
Yeah, it was my own amusement. Listen to that Velcro like sound when they peel themselves off the pleather couch.
Shit. You sleep good?
Hell no.
And I remember when we had a sofa bed. And nobody used it. Well, I think maybe my brother used it. But nobody really used it because we didn't really have people come, sleep over. My parents we didn't really have people sleep over. But it was there. And for the most part, I used it. So staying up late instead of being in my room, my room didn't have like the cable and whatever. So I'll be in the living room, sofa bed out, watching cable.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I did with it.
That's what's up.
Slept in that motherfucker like a king. Back in the good old days when I got to sleep like a king.
I sleep like a queen on my queen size bed.
I bet you. I don't get to sleep like a king in my queen size bed. I wish I had a king size bed.
Hell yeah.
My queen size bed. No, man, I gotta I got my space that I have to share with a little dog, Chihuahua, and my girl. And they're the ones taking up the whole space, and I'm just like,
you just get a slither of the bed.
Especially the little dog, yeah. That little dog likes to get in between us too, and then that really leaves us like both. just a little piece of the bed, and she's all fucking laid out. For a little dog, she takes up a lot of space.
I got 2 dogs that do that, and they kick me when they have dreams about running, and they kick the shit out of me.
Then you'd be like, bitch. No, he's kidding. I move her, and then she just quickly like, "Man, fuck that," and gets right back into the spot. The good
Damn
news
dog.
about this little doggy is that when we first got her, the reason that fixing my chair, the reason that she brought her and fostering her was because she had pneumonia, so she just had this big like
Aw.
cough and was like asthmatic or whatever. But I'm, you know, happy to say that that lasted like maybe 2 weeks and so, and then it slowly started going away. Now the dog is like barely coughing and wheezing, running around like crazy, and
Aw.
it's super hyped to see, especially her. Not me. The last dog we had, that little white one, that motherfucker loved me. She loved me. This one loves her more than me, and she'll get super excited, run around. But once you go to bed, that's all she likes to do: go to bed and lay down.
Hell yeah, dogs are
She'll,
lazy.
yeah, she'll
Chill
knock out.
dogs.
She won't get up until you get up. She cool with that.
I'll tell my dogs that if I sleep like 15 hours, they're right there with me.
Yeah,
They don't like wake me up or anything.
that's good. That's good dogs.
Good dogs.
Good dykes. D players like Naz ain't getting no play at night with a dog in between. No comment. But you know what got a lot of plays? It was that new Ghostbuster movie. You saw it finally, huh?
I saw it the other day, and it wasn't what I thought it was gonna be, but it was better than I thought it was gonna be.
Mm-hmm.
And I fucking loved it. It was just like you said, it's like a love note to the original.
Mm-hmm.
There wasn't much stuff about or from the second movie. There's like Easter eggs and stuff in there from it, like the toaster and the raise a cult, stuff like that. But there's a lot of stuff from the first movie in there.
Yeah. Some people compared it to like the Force Awakens, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
It was a big ode to the first Star Wars movie. But yeah, it's really good. Now, a little fair warning, guys, and I don't want to like push anybody away, but we are gonna get a little spoilerific here with the Ghostbuster movie,
Oh yeah.
and I hope it doesn't like deter you away from watching the movie. But um, yeah, we're gonna get spoilerific up in. Oh shit, that didn't work. Damn.
What did you
Let me
do?
try it again. We're gonna get spoilerific up in this bitch. All right, so um, I fuck man, I'm giving you a warning. D players say still haven't seen it, and I'm sorry you haven't seen it, but I don't like to spoil shit for people, but
I don't either, but what else are we gonna talk about?
I mean, there's plenty of shit to talk about, man. I mean, there's always stuff to talk about. Uh, you've we both finished Cowboy Bebop. And remember the last time
Oh
we were
my
talking about how
god.
like people were talking shit about it and whatnot. Then we finally got to see the whole thing, and we're both on the freaking unanimous. I can't even say it. We're both
Unanimous.
on we're both on the same team of it was fucking great.
It was amazing. Like it reminded me when I saw Godzilla in theater and I couldn't stop grinning. That's how I
Mhm.
was when I was watching Cowboy Bebop. Like I wanted to binge it just so I could enjoy it more, and I was just grinning like an idiot the whole time because it just made me so nostalgic, and it was also the new stuff that they brought to the table
Mhm.
made me really enjoy it too. So it was like getting more than what the original had, like especially the backstory and all that stuff.
And that's I remember saying excuse me, that's what I wanted. I wanted them to have
Mhm.
backstory on Spice Spiegel and the Syndicate and more of that.
Yes, and we got a whole episode of just backstory.
The whole shit totally kind of changed up the fact like in the anime the backstory was that they were both in the Titan War and whatnot.
Mhm.
And then of course in the Syndicate. But this one, I guess you could still like, I mean, season two could still kind of jump into that if they want that they were in the Titan War. But this one just handled the whole they were in the Syndicate together, and what threw them apart, which is kind of on the same level as the anime, but a
Mhm.
little bit different. Really good. My one, I could understand one thing is the portrayal of Vicious, how people like kind of wanted him to just be like, just straightforward vicious.
Deadpan. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that
But
he had emotions and they showed more of him and what he was like kind of in his everyday life, and he wasn't just deadpan all the time. The same thing with Spike. Spike had more emotions and brought more to the table than just being deadpan the whole time like he was in the anime.
yeah, and look, and D player asks like, so why are the pure anime fans complaining about it? This is what gets me because then would I not be considered a pure anime fan because I enjoyed it and loved it for what it is?
Mhm.
Am I not a pure anime fan? Because I consider myself a pure anime fan. Like I grew up on Cowboy Bebop. I
Me
was
too.
there. We were there when it came out. We were there when we watched it on fucking Toonami. We were there watching it every day and the constant repeats of it and whatnot. We were
Yeah.
there. I bought the DVDs. I got the movie. We were there. We watched this stuff, and I even watched it again before Cowboy Bebop just to refresh myself because I haven't watched it in like long ass time since then. And watching it and then watching the show, I still feel like it's a great adaptation.
Mhm.
I see the additions they did to it. They Some people call it a remix, which is true. They remixed a lot of the stuff, but it
Yep.
works. It works a lot of ways. I The episode that I was really excited for was where Matt Period or Perio. I don't know how to say the name.
I don't either.
Matt Period when he showed up because I love that episode in the anime. That's like my
Mhm.
favorite episode. He showed up and to me, I loved it. The fact that he was not just some assassin out there and doing a job and then they just bumped into each other. No, it was like this guy was aimed towards Spike Spiegel. It made sense and it kind of altered the whole fucking story from that point on, which is like two more episodes, but still, like it made a difference. It was important, and there was stuff there from the anime that showed up in the show. Is
Mhm.
those beautiful nods and tributes that I saw and appreciated and loved, and I got hyped up for, and yet disappoints me that other people are not on the same fence. Like it makes no fucking sense. What do you want? They look like the characters. They're acting like the characters. The guy who played Jet is fucking Jet. Like
Oh my god, his voice is amazing. Like he just reminded me of Jet so much. And then the fact that they get into his backstory and stuff too, and stuff with his kid, and he was just amazing. Like the whole cast is amazing.
exactly. I don't get it. I don't. The stuff is there. Everything's there. They get into Faye Valentine's like
Mhm.
search for her past and they dig a little bit deep. They dig a little bit into it. I like how um I like how things are tackled a little bit differently. It makes a little some more sense. I prefer the way she's dressed like that than the way she's dressed in the anime because that technically wouldn't make no sense in live action.
The actress that plays her even said that they tried to do a costume more like the anime, and she said it just didn't work
It
because
wouldn't.
she would have had to have worn like paper thin clothing, and you know it just didn't look right. But her outfit that she mainly wears in the show is great. I love
Yeah,
it.
it's really good. And then there's so many episodes that you get in there, man. The first episode is definitely the first episode from Cowboy Bebop. You got the teddy bear bomber. You got
Oh my god.
the environmentalist terrorists or
Hmm.
whatever. You
Mother and
got
the
You when you talk about Jet, you got the episode just like in the anime about Jet's past and dealing with Udan or whatever, Udanis or whatever,
Yeah.
and who betrayed him. You got that there. You get you get the classic freaking and that was the beauty of it. The classic Spike versus Vicious with the classic pose
Yes.
of him on the floor, gun, sword at each other.
It was beautiful. And they showed that in the intro too. So it was like it's the scene that some of the scenes in the intro are made just for the intro, but that's not one of them. Like that actually happens in the show.
Mm-hmm. There's the one about the cult, which was a digital thing.
Mhm.
That changed drastically in the live action, but it just it's nothing that I'll be like, oh, how dare you, blah blah blah. It's like it's nothing to that point. Like I get it, you know,
Mhm.
I get why they did it. It makes sense. It's good, and it fucking moved the story along. I don't know, man. Like I'm not so like critical about it. Like I can see why, but I also can't see why. And I know this is the same reaction we're gonna get when the live action Last Airbender happens, and
Mhm.
especially when the One Piece happen. Because let's face it, I'm a hardcore fan of One Piece, and I know they're gonna do a lot of changes. Because if you look at One Piece, there's no fucking way in hell you can translate all that into live action.
No.
No fucking way.
I think people are just critical period of remakes or adaptations because people are either like they want it to be exactly the same, which is not going to happen, or two, they want it to be completely different, like something new.
Even and the thing is, even if it's completely different, they're still gonna bitch about it because they want it to be the same.
Yeah. So
You can't you can't get
there's
anything.
there's just people that are you can't please. Like I was even talking to a friend of mine in Texas about the Cowboy Bebop adaptation, and he said he didn't like it. I was like, I fucking loved it. I was like a kid in a candy store.
And did he say why he didn't like it?
He didn't really say. He just said he didn't like it.
Mm,
Well, he didn't say he didn't like. He said he liked the anime better. I'm like,
mm.
okay, that makes sense. But still, you got to give respect for them for what they did with Cowboy Bebop. It's beautiful. Like the ships all look like they do in the anime.
They
All
do.
the characters are there. I'm not gonna spoil who shows up at the end, but I mean it was beautiful. It's just beautiful. I love the show. I
To
want more.
to answer D player, and I hope we get more. I hope they don't fuck us over and shit. All this reaction. To answer D player, why people would specifically didn't dislike or any scenes. There's people who like from the jump off, from the beginning of the first episode, they were just already complaining. They didn't like
Mhm.
how Spike came in, how he talked, how he fought. They wanted him to fight more like he did in the anime, which was fighting like fucking Bruce Lee. Yet, to me, I like the way he handled himself. And like we discussed, there was more to him. The relationship between, and the thing is that there's some people who still are like, I can accept the people who are like, it's not the anime, but it was enjoyable. I
Mhm.
accept those people because at least they were like, you know what? It's not god awful. It's enjoyable, but it's not better than the anime, which is respectable,
Right.
because it's true. It's not better than the anime. I'll tell you that. It's not. Is it god awful? No. Is it
No.
dope? Yes.
Fuck yes.
I don't know what else to explain. And then the big reaction to Ed is like, what the fuck did you expect Ed to be like?
I thought she was perfect.
Am I wrong?
She was dead on perfect. Like that was exactly how I imagined Ed in my head as a live action character.
Yeah. And that was just a little bit. You're basing it on a little shit. Like we don't even get the full fucking meal, you know? That was a sneak peek.
I hope that was like a nod that they're gonna make a second season.
Yeah. I mean, the way it ended. it's all led up for a second season. And I like the way they did that. You know, the big twist. They changed a big factor from the anime into
Mhm.
into the series. And like I told you after I finished this, like what I love about this is that is a big twist. It changed. It made more sense to me. And
It does.
also I'm more excited to see what else is coming because they pretty they pretty much tackled almost everything. You know?
Mhm.
There's some stuff there that they can still tackle, especially when it comes to Ed and Faye Valentine. But we've never in the anime experienced a conflict between Jet and Spike.
Yeah.
You know, that's never been touched upon. We never in the anime seen a conflict of where these three characters are in Spike, Vicious, and Julia. You know, and we're gonna go into that in another season. That I'm
Right.
hoping they don't stop because look, this is this is something that I always feel when something I love doesn't get a continuation, yet shit I never even heard of or even know of people watching, and there's like fucking 15 seasons of. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It make no sense.
No, but in the end, I recommend it to anybody that is curious about it and is gonna, watch it with open eyes and open heart. It's not like worlds apart different than the anime. There's things in there, plenty of things in there from the anime you're gonna love and remember. But there are just some things that were changed that make more sense. Just like, you know, other adaptations that we've talked about before, like Watchmen. That's a
And Ready Player
perfect
One.
adaptation. Yeah, Ready Player One, Scott Pilgrim, things like that. But the changes make sense.
So I highly like challenge like D player said he never watched the anime. Then watch the live action. Watch
Hmm.
that. So you could go into it just knowing live action and then go into the anime and then tell us how you feel and what you think going in reverse. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like maybe like that's why I wanted to get my girl to watch the anime first and then the series. And she didn't continue watching. I mean, she watched like the first episode with me, whatever, something like that. But now I rather her watch the live action because I feel like that one would would grab her more. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I just feel like she'll dig it, and then maybe we'll bring her into the anime if she wants or if she doesn't. I don't care. But definitely, if you want to go into this, pick pick your path, either anime into live action or live action into anime. The anime is only 26 episodes, so it's not much of your time,
Hmm.
and the live action is only 10 episodes. But
But they're an hour.
yeah, it probably at the same amount of as the other one, maybe, probably not, almost. Regardless, it's good, doesn't suck, but at least I'm happy that the consensus for Ghostbuster Afterlife is that everybody loves it.
It's amazing.
As far
And
as I seen, everybody loves it.
I was pretty much glued to the screen the whole movie, but what really got me was at the end when they're fighting Gozer and
Spoiler
Egon
alert.
shows up. Yep, total spoiler, but Egon shows up as a ghost and is holding the blaster with his granddaughter, and I was like, I felt like a Pez dispenser out of Pez. I didn't have any. I was like, I want to cry right here, but I am too heavily medically drugged. But I want to cry.
Nah, I was ready. I went there and my girl already said like, "You're gonna be an emotional wreck, aren't you?" And I quickly said like, "Yes, I am." And I think I don't know if it was before the movie because I was already like giddy. I was already giddy as fuck, you know. Ghostbusters. I love it. This is like
Mhm.
this is the movie. This is the sequel. I'm excited. I already knew that, because the fucking trailer and commercials gave it away that the originals were coming in and all that stuff. So
Mhm.
I was ready. The movie starts off and you just see this figure and it's like a silhouette, but they don't show the face. And
Mhm.
immediately, because and you see the facial features or whatever of the silhouette, and you're like, oh my god, that's Egon. That's fucking Egon. And I started to get teary. All right. And
Oh.
she's like, oh, it's like, you okay? You okay? And I'm like, no, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I've got teary like crazy. I was like, oh my god, that was fucking beautiful. And then as the movie kept going, it's just, dude, it just was getting me. And I mean, I had fun. I had a lot. There's that one scene, and I didn't catch it. I thought it was just like a funny, like little nod in there and a joke. But it's the scene where the Phoebe, who by the way, Phoebe, that girl, she killed that role.
She killed it, and she even did the song in the end credits, which was
That's
awesome.
that song is a bop. She was my girl was like Rosie was like, you're gonna be playing that. I'm gonna hear that shit a lot. I'm like, you damn right
Hell
you are.
yeah.
You damn right you will.
She was awesome.
Uh the part when Phoebe and she says, can I get a phone call? And then from out of nowhere, I don't even know what Bokeem Woodbine that was, right?
Yeah. I love him.
It's like the fuck?
He
Like
goes,
the
"Who you
only
gonna
part he's
call?"
in the movie. Just bam, Bokeem Woodbine. That guy must have said like, what? I could get what? I could get one part in the Ghostbusters movie? Fuck yeah, let me
Hell
get it.
yeah.
No, that happened to someone else too, right? The guy who played Char Chardine, Charporn, whatever, man. You know what I'm talking about.
No, I don't.
The man who basically created the temple for Gozer and his body was there.
Oh, yeah, J.K. Simmons.
Yeah, like he just showed up. You're like, what the fuck?
I love him too.
And he had that one little scene, just one little fucking scene. He showed up. And he too must have been like, excuse me, what? You want me to be a Ghostbuster movie? Yeah, sure, whatever.
Hell
Whatever
yeah.
fucking scene you want. Let me be in it. So the character Phoebe is asking, can she get a phone call? And Bokeem Woodbine character says, sure you can, but who you gonna call? And I was just like, that's funny. But then she was making the call, and I'm like, oh shit, wait, is she calling? Is she fucking calling? And my girl's like, yeah. Who you think she was gonna call? And they cut to the fucking commercial from the Ghostbuster,
Yeah.
like the Ghostbuster
The,
commercial that they
the
did.
original.
Yeah. And then it goes and the fucking red phone, he picks it up and talk, and I started crying.
Oh my
I'm
god.
a fucking. Look. I know you guys are like, damn, Naz, you cried a lot. No, you don't understand. Like this was a fucking emotional roller coaster ride for me, and that was just like the volcano just getting ready because, as she said, when it was the end of the movie, and it's this big fucking epic battle, and Gozer's there, and everybody's like, oh shit, we're gonna fucking lose, and then the OGs show up and they're like, yo, we got your back. This is actual dialogue. No, I'm just kidding.
No, it's not.
They show up and then blah blah blah. And then Phoebe gets the proton pack and starts shooting it with them. And I already said it in my head. I was like, they're gonna fucking do Dragon Ball. They're gonna fucking do the Dragon Ball scene. And as you said, that's when Egon showed up, his spirit, and holding it with her and making it even more impactful. And I was like, this fucking Dragon Ball right here. And I just got fucking emotional. Now, for those who don't understand what I'm saying, Dragon Ball, it's Dragon Ball Z where Gohan was fighting Cell and he only had one arm and he's doing the
Mm-hmm.
fucking big ki blast. And, Cell is like, doing his Kamehameha wave and everything's going down. And Gohan is not believing he could do it, but then the spirit of Goku shows up, and then he's like right by him doing the wave and then making it stronger. That's the fucking epitome of what the fuck happened in Ghostbusters Afterlife. and I broke the fuck down. And then from then on
Mhm.
until the fucking end, I was just fucking in tears the whole time.
I wanted to be like I said, I my meds don't condone that. But I was like, come on, tears, you can do it." I wanted to be bawling like a baby because it was so emotional, especially the shit with Egon. I just wanted to hear his voice one time, but apparently ghosts can't speak or something.
But we got to,
And
but we kind of got to hear his voice when they added a deleted scene from the first Ghostbuster movie at the post credit scene.
that's true. That was awesome. There's two post-credit scenes, by the way, so don't leave during the credits.
Do not. It's two great post credit scenes.
No, but
And
it was like driving a car with no gas. I just couldn't produce the tears that I wanted for how epic and emotional the ending is.
it was so good. And that was exactly how it should have played out.
Mhm.
100%. It was a passing of the torch with the new characters, and it just made fucking. And I could see like this is why, because remember, Bill Murray was very hesitant on any Ghostbuster sequel.
Mhm.
It was always on his word, like, "Hey, you want to do this?" And he'll be like, "Nah," and then they'll be like, "Well, fuck it, we're not gonna do it without fucking Bill Murray."
Bill Murray, yeah. And they did that since the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, 25 to 30 years they've been trying to make this sequel happen and Bill Murray's fucked up. And one of the scripts that they had in mind while Egon was still alive was that they were going to do a sequel with Bill Murray as a ghost, which they were going to say that he had died, but he was still around interacting with people. So it would have been Bill Murray as a ghost. And apparently it just never went anywhere.
But unfortunately, one of them had to die in real life
Yeah.
to make, and I think that's why, because Bill Murray saw this script and saw how it was and said, "You know what? This is beautiful." Because it
Hmm.
was. It was it really is beautiful. It's a love letter to the original movie and to basically one half of the creators, you know?
Exactly. And like I said, it wasn't what I thought it was going to be. In my mind, I thought they were going to do a passing of the torch with older people. Like, I thought that's why, what's his name was in that movie?
Paul Rudd.
What?
Paul Rudd.
Paul Rudd. Yeah, I thought it was going to be Paul Rudd taking over and then other people like his age. But what we got was these kids that are the grandkids of Egon and their friends coming together to become the new Ghostbusters,
Mm-hmm.
which is awesome. They did a damn good job, especially the kid from Stranger Things.
Yeah. Yeah, they totally knocked it out the park. And Scene Stealers was that the kid podcast.
I love podcasts.
He's a very funny fucking character, and the but yet the real steal the Scene Stealers was the fucking mini Stave Puff Men.
Yes, they were everywhere.
when when they appeared and they started going crazy all in the Walmart, and basically that scene where they're just like killing themselves.
Yeah.
And I could just remember the theater, especially Rocio. They were all like, oh my god, no, no, oh my god, no, no, no." They were like, and we're cracking up. And people, it was half of people cracking up, half people going like, "Oh my god, no, what, no?" Because, and it's funny because they were having the time of their lives, killing themselves,
they were.
basically.
It was fucking hilarious. The one in the blender got me because he just went.
My favorite is the one that was like they put into the s'more, right? They put the
Yeah.
chocolate on top and then they're cooking it, and he's just there like nice and toasty and warm and shit. It's so funny and so good. Like there was nothing could have gone wrong in this. It was so perfectly done, and it's just poetic. It's just poetic because it's done by the son of the original director
Mm-hmm.
with all the original cast members in a big tribute to Harold Ramis.
Yes.
Is what the movie is, and exactly how it should play out.
They
Exactly
even
how it should play
they
out.
even had the cab driver ghost, the skeleton guy from the first movie. He was in the diner.
Oh man, the
I
Easter
was like,
eggs and
"Oh my god."
the Easter
My
eggs in
only beef with that
Afterlife is
movie is that they didn't have Slimer in it, but we get this new edition called Muncher, who can
yes.
eat metal, and he's fucking awesome. He eats metal and then, like, spits out bullets.
So damn good. And that whole scene, the chasing after him with the Ecto One going
Oh my
full
god.
force, and it was like the detachable seat, and it was dope. It was action packed, you know.
The gunner seat?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that was amazing. Like, they show that in the preview for it, but you get so much more of it during the movie. It's like an actual pretty huge scene, and they're driving through a town in the middle of the day trying to catch Muncher.
The movie captures everything, and we just can't say enough of how much of a big love letter it is, and the finale is just beautiful. And to see all those
Mhm.
characters there, and to bring back Harold Ramis, even that's it's the beauty of technology. I know maybe some people are like probably complaining like it shouldn't be done and whatnot, but it's the beauty of what we got right now. And they didn't have, the fact that he didn't speak too was kind of good, in an honor of him instead of trying to have someone trying to sound like him or whatever. I mean, they could have done some, uh, you know,
Voice
compute.
actor?
Yeah, yeah, no, no, not voice actor, but they could have done something where they just grabbed his voice from different movies and you know,
Yeah, for
made
sure.
made him talk. But still, it was good because he spoke with his face, with his eyes, with his body, and
I like that they made him skinny because
he did.
Harold Ramis was a big guy, and he
He
was
was a
probably
big guy.
my
They
size or
did.
bigger. He was a
They did
big
him
guy.
good, man. They did him good. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. It was exactly how it was supposed to be, and I'm dying for it to be on video on demand so I could watch it at home and just cry my ass off the whole time.
I can usually tell how good a movie is if I want to see it again, and I totally want to see it again already, like in theater.
Mm-hmm.
I might go see it again because it was so awesome. My experience for it was me and two other people in the whole theater. So I didn't have to worry about people eating or kicking the back of my chair. I got to totally sit and just absorb the entire movie that I totally forgot that there were two other people in the theater. I watched it like I was watching it by myself.
I feel so bad that it seemed like you still experience bad shit in theaters.
Anytime I go to like a packed theater, I always get people that fucking have like crinkly wrappers or candy or they're talking or they're playing on their phones, shit like that. So I like to go to the late showing because there's usually not as many people there. And this time I lucked out. For when I first got there, I was totally by myself, and then this couple walked in, and then that was it. It was just the three of us.
Should have had a threesome, yo.
No, nah.
I don't. We don't have that much bad. I mean, the last time we did it, well, it was because of what the auditorium was. When we saw Venom 2, yeah, we kind of had like some. Was it that one or was it the anime? I think it was the anime. I think it was My Hero movie we saw recently. Yeah, I think it was that one because the fucking it's an anime movie, and then you got grown ups who watch this shit, but then you also got the fucking teens, or the tweens, and there's
Yep.
of course the group of tween girls who are just fucking and the movie hasn't started, and I'm like, all right, that's cool, they can talk, whatever. But then the movie's about to start, and they're like, seriously, like the girl, and we already knew it was coming. One girl was asked like, whose team? fuck, I forgot their names already. But whose team, whatever. And like, huh? And then it was just like, I remember I said, shut the fuck up. And then eventually they said something else and whatever. And then me and Rocio both said, shut up. And then they were quiet. But I think because of that, they wanted to be fucking smartasses. So throughout the movie, whenever they got out, they would be stomping down the stairs
Oh my god.
and stomping up the stairs. It was, yeah, they were like, who's Team Deku and who's here for the fucking Fire Ice kid? I forgot his name. I'm bad, man. But they were like that. And it was like, no, we're not going to have that throughout this whole movie. You know, we've been to other My Hero Academia movies. In fact, everyone that came out, and there's always the people who go like, it's our when their character comes out, and I'm like, all right, calm down. You know, they go like this every time their character come out, and like, okay, we get it. Like these motherfuckers are the shit, but you don't have to go all out.
That was like when I saw the first Transformers in theater. There was this huge group of girls there that had all these signs made for Shia LaBeouf. And every time he came on scene or on screen, they would fucking start screaming.
No need that.
That's why I'm a huge fan, and this is not a promo, by the way. I'm a huge fan of Alamo Drafthouse, which started in Austin, Texas. They don't allow kids. You can't be on your phone or talk, or you'll get kicked out. And you can order food and alcoholic drinks.
See,
It's like the best movie experience.
The thing that sucks is that I do talk, but it's not like real loud, you know? So I can't have that either because I'll be there and be like, hey, this is whatever or something like that. It's like, how the hell? Or if I'm reacting to something like, you kid, are you crazy? You know, like, am I gonna get kicked out?
You might.
You see,
They're
I
pretty
can't do that.
strict.
I can't do that. I don't.
Yes?
It's like they want you to be like just a freaking, and this is not being racist or anything because this is exactly how they act in fucking wrestling events. But it's like being a Japanese audience during a wrestling event. You know, they're just quiet,
Yeah.
and then you know, on some moves. Like, no, I gotta react to something. That's my problem is not talking. If people are talking towards the movie with us as a collective, then it's cool. My
Yeah,
thing is
then
like
it's cool.
if you're talking about some other shit or if you're on the fucking phone or something like that, that's not cool. But I don't get that much of an experience because we always do Dolby, and these are rows that are really fucking separated from each and every other row, and the seats are big fucking recliner chairs, and everybody there is mostly respective, and no one really talks or anything. You know, it's all good in the hood. When we saw Eternals, there was this one guy who sat over Rocio, next to Rocio, and he only spoke like twice. But what's crazy is that he'll talk like he knows Rocio's brother, you know? Like he'll talk like he's like, oh man, come on, get out. And also what bothered me is that he reacted to the part where the two guys kissed. And I'm like, come on, dude. Like that bugs you? You know? That's my only beef with that time and that experience. But other than that, it was a great fucking experience. And we always get this we always go to that cinema, especially because those screens are almost like IMAX. So and they're very comfortable and chill and really good. And there's nobody fucking kicking your back, and you don't have to worry about seeing over anybody else because everybody is at a level. You know.
See, we got our theater here is really small. It only has 4 screens, and they usually only use 3. And we got a huge upgrade to the theater. We got those seats that you're talking about. They're not recliners, but they're these big leather seats with a tabletop, so you can have like your snacks or whatever. And
That's kind of how it is. Yeah, I saw from the
yeah,
picture you showed me.
and they're all at different levels and spaced out far enough. So even if it was a full theater, nobody's gonna be kicking your chair, none of that kind of shit anymore.
I'm sorry because I just read D Player. He said, when I saw Endgame in the scene where Black Widow died, this Asian guy next to me started laughing.
Oh my god, that's fucked up.
That is fucked up.
People were making fun of me again when I saw Transformers that I was crying when Bumblebee got taken.
Bro, when I first saw Transformers, the movie, I cried when Optimus Prime showed up and started
Oh, when he
talking.
first started talking to again, yeah, I started tearing the fuck up.
Like, are you using? I was like, what? You know, it was just. I remember that was a movie that it was back then. I was like hardcore with movie theaters. I saw that movie like maybe 3 or 4 times in 1 week.
Wow.
I was adamant and hardcore with that movie. I love it to death.
Me too.
It's so good. And that's probably one of those. That was one of those movies where people were like, "Oh, I hate this design," and I hate. I know people who are like, "Oh, Megatron sucked because it's not the original actor," and I still believe to this day, like if they had the original voice actor Megatron, I wouldn't take it serious.
No, it sounded too goofy.
Yeah, like Hugo Weaving did right. Freaking Optimus Prime voice is just perfect as is. Like you could do it in any medium. You know what I'm saying?
When he first started talking at the very beginning of the movie, doing like the backstory, everybody started cheering.
Mm-hmm. I had no problem with the flame fucking shit, whatever, because the essence was still there. It was dope. It was really good. You gotta sometimes accept an adaptation if it's done right. I can understand some things that are just fucking just horrible, but there's some things that are not, you know?
No.
And
Don't bring crinkly candy. Don't eat loud food. Stay off your damn phone. Don't talk about other random shit.
let's all have a great experience. Cause that was man, I love being at a movie theater and we're all experiencing the same thing and going nuts over something. Sometimes sometimes I'm the one going nuts over shit and other people are
Me
not,
too.
you
Did I
know?
tell you the worst movie experience I ever had?
Go ahead.
I think I did. It was when we saw Minority Report in theater, and there was this group of like 3 or 4 people in the entrance, and they were standing there talking the whole time. And one of them had a flashlight, so I thought they worked there. And we're watching the movie, and halfway through it, one of the guys ran through the theater with the flashlight, like flailing it around like this, screams out the end of the movie, and then runs out the emergency exit. We didn't know what that meant at the time, but when we saw the end of the movie, we were like, that motherfucker totally ruined the movie. And I went and complained to management, told them what happened, and we got free movie tickets.
Were you still in a small town when this happened?
No,
Where were you?
I was in a larger city when it happened.
I don't know, man. You just get better. You just got bad experiences. You got bad luck when it comes to movie theaters. Cause I mean, I had some bad experiences, but nothing that horrible.
Oh, it was
You
bad.
just seem like you just
And
be.
everybody, like when the ending came and they realized what that guy had said and realized that he ruined the movie, everybody in the theater just went, "Aw."
Yeah. I don't know, man. You gotta. I don't know. I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's wrong. I don't got that many bad. I usually get. You know when I expect something bad to happen, like I can name you like I can name one theater where I can go there and my chances of it being a bad experience are higher than others,
Mm-hmm.
and that's because it's like somewhere in the midst of the hood. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like that, I could tell you. But even sometimes that place is decent, the cheapest right now. But other than that, it's not really many. Like everybody's just there doing their own thing, and we're all enjoying it. You know what pisses me off when people walk out during the credits?
Yeah.
That's what
Where y'all
pisses me
going?
off. Every single time, like this fucking, and I just, I think it, but then I quickly like, you know what? They're lost, man. Whatever. They ain't true fans.
Exactly.
They don't know shit. D player asks, "How's the Resident Evil movie doing?" From what I heard, and this is from like hardcore Resident Evil fans, especially like Danny, good
Yes.
old Danny,
I
who,
talked to Danny the other day about the new Resident Evil movie.
yeah. Shout outs to Danny. He usually in the machine room. We miss him. Danny said that he loved it or he enjoyed it for what it is, and it's definitely 100 times better than the other Resident Evil movies that were made.
Mm-hmm. We actually got a question about it on Twitter. This is from Jason Moore. He does voice acting for us,
Mm-hmm.
and he says, "Nas, have you and the My Way seen the new Resident Evil movie, um, Hammer Venus Me? It was actually pretty solid, actually."
And no, I'm dying to. I would love to. If I see it, I'll have to see it solo. Because this girl's not really into zombie stuff, Resident Evil and whatnot. I will have to see it solo. So most likely I'll have to wait until it's on demand, you know,
Mhm.
digital, so I can watch it. But I've heard good things. Now, I'm not hardcore Resident Evil fan, but I know enough. And to me, I'm kind of disappointed on how some characters look.
Mhm.
With that being said, if it still has that essence and they still do the characters right and whatever, excuse me, sorry, I couldn't accept it. From what I seen in the trailer, it's way closer to Resident Evil than the Mila Jovovich ones,
Mhm.
like 100 times fold.
So that's what Danny and I were talking about the other day because my biggest concern was if they were going to have the mansion in it from the first game. And he says that they do. And not only do they have it, that they built the entranceway to the mansion directly from the game. And they
Mm-hmm.
have all of the original characters from the game, the first one. So that made me really want to go see it more.
Yeah, it looks like it's like legit to it, with maybe some changes and whatnot. But you see the
Right.
people there. They're the problem. The problem with the ones made by Thomas Anderson or whatever with the Mila Jovovich is that it was. And here's the thing: like when I heard this and realized it, then I accepted those movies for what they are. But I
Mhm.
already accepted the movies for what they are before I even knew this. But after I knew this, it was like I saw it at a new light. I was like, oh, okay, this is what these Resident Evil movies are. The first movie, those Resident Evil movies, is basically Alice in Wonderland, but in Resident Evil.
Mhm.
That's all it is. So Mila Jovovich is Alice. That's
Of course.
her name. And the Wonderland that she goes into is the fucking mansion and going deeper, deeper down to face the queen. You get it?
Red Queen.
Yes, the Red Queen. And then all the characters that she meets up are characters from Resident Evil. So kind of saying like Alice in Wonderland meeting all the characters of Wonderland. This is this Alice meeting all the characters of Resident Evil. Basically how they perceive that movie. And when you think about it, you're like, oh shit, that's exactly how it is. And that's
And
why
as,
all the
as
video game characters are just like secondary characters there.
yeah, and as much as I'm like a stickler for the original game, especially the first two, I still love those movies with Mia Jovovich because they were a very well done adaptation and they're entertaining. And I especially love the original. The first one's still my favorite.
Yeah. But you see how we could accept them for what they are and still enjoy it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Just like Cowboy Bebop.
Yes. It's just I don't look, I can understand because there's some things I've seen, and when it comes to an adaptation that I just cringed hard and I couldn't get it. And even I even want to, like, I think I tried to watch it again to accept it for what it was, and I just couldn't. And I'm willing to even try it again, but this time I had a sense of like just mocking it the whole time. I'm a big fan of the King of Fighter games,
Mm-hmm.
and they made a live action movie, and it was god awful. I'm gonna tell you straight up. I'm those people who talking about Cowboy Bebop or whatever. Like, this adaptation was god awful.
Like The
Okay,
Last Airbender.
like even the last Airbender is better than this King of Fighter movie. That's how bad it
Wow.
is to me, and I can't do anything. Eat the Legend of Chung Li, B player, is even better than this King of Fighter movie. All right.
Wow.
And the Legend of Chun Li, I could watch again, especially after a YouTube video pointed out this the actor from American Pie playing the Charlie character and how bad he was acting. It just makes it funny to me. I can't seem to find anything in the King of Fighter movie to make me even want to like it for what it is. Like I can enjoy Dragon Ball Evolution for what it is, how bad it is, but I can't fucking take and the way
Was it worse than Dragon Ball Z?
it was worse than the Dragon Ball movie to me too. Yes.
Wow. That's like the epitome of awful.
It is. Like D player, I'll show it on the fucking fan chamber one day, I promise you, because I want to do like video game kind of movies. But this one is just it's just bad for me because at least in Dragon Ball Evolution, I get it. And those people kind of look they tried and blah blah whatever and but they changed so much stuff for reasons I don't even know. At the end of the day, that movie was made just because they were about to lose the license to make a movie, and sometimes they just have to make something so they could try to keep it. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So that's when they were like, okay, quick, whatever. Because I remember Dragon Ball movie being announced, and then it was like years and years and years and years passed until finally they were like, all right, we're just gonna make this and put it out there. So, I forgot where I was gonna go, but yeah, I'll enjoy that one over this other one because this other one, like the characters didn't even look alike, and then I'm really critical, and I know it's bogus, but if you're playing Mai, you gotta have some boobies. This chick had none. If you're playing Terry Bogard, you gotta have long blonde hair. This guy had none. But here's funny. Here's a funny fucking fact though. And this is perfect for us because we always tie it into it. The guy who played Terry Bogard in the King of Fighters movie is one half of the directors of John Wick.
Oh shit. Really?
Yep. Robert Leach, I believe.
Yeah.
Robert Leach, because he's a big stunt guy, you know? And they had him playing Terry Bogard. And yeah, he had no long hair or whatever, and he barely wore the hat. But there you go. So later, when I found out Robert Leach did John Wick, and then he directed what, Deadpool, right? Deadpool 2 or something like that. And some other movies, I was like, huh, that's funny. That's fucking guy who played Terry Bogard.
That's awesome.
So it all comes down to it. So yeah, I have some things where I'm critical about, but that is some. While the people that we talk about, it just seems like they just are never satisfied with anything.
That's
And
true.
how do you enjoy life that way? Like the Monster Hunter movie, I played some of the game, you know? I'm not hardcore with it. I saw the movie and I enjoyed it, right? I thought maybe they went too far on some things, you know, as most Mila Jovovich movie do. But then LP saw it, and LP's a bigger fan. Like he knows the world of Monster Hunter. And then he told me, it's like, dude, it was like perfect. It had this and that. And I was like, yeah, but I was like, why they had to have the little portal thing? He was like, nah, man, that's how it is in the game. That's how they brought like other characters into it when it came like DLCs. And when I was like, oh, I was that dude from The Wire, the gift, like, So when he schooled me, then I was like, yo, that's cool. Then the game was like the movie was legit to the game. Like I respected it and accepted it even more. Like to the point that I bought the movie on Black Friday because I was waiting for it to be cheap. It was like $5. So you once you get this knowledge and you understand it, then you accept it for what it is, and then you even like it even more. So it was a good adaptation of the movie of the video game. But video
Exactly.
game movies do have a bad rep. I love Max Payne. I'm a hardcore Max Payne fan, and I do like the movie. But even I understand where the movie fell off. I like it for what it is, but do, I do wish it was done with a little bit more.
Yeah. I like it too, and I wish there would have been more because they totally leave it like there's going to be a sequel. But
Mm-hmm.
then I guess people We're just shitting on it too hard, and we never got any sequels.
And that's where I get mad because the movie ended with where it was gonna pop off. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like the movie was just like, here's the setup. And the
Yep.
sequel was gonna be like where the game, because that's where the game really, the villain is that woman of the company.
Mhm.
And that's who you're after. But then the movie at the end like ends like bam, and then you find out it's really her, and then that's when Max Payne like pops off and he's gonna go and fucking kill people like crazy. But
Yep.
they, they did what they did, and you like the movie for what it is. I would have loved it even more if they had more of the gunfights and slow mos and whatnot. But visually, the movie was beautiful, I think.
Yeah, but it is.
Yeah, and that I think saves it for me. But it's still not the perfect Max Payne adaptation.
Do you think they'll ever remake it or try again?
I would hope so, and I will hope so they do it right. But I don't know. There's got to be a market for that, and not many. I mean, if you get the right people, and I think if you get the right people and not say it's based on the game,
Mhm.
and just be like it's this whatever, then it could work. And I think that's why something like the Riverdale show works, because the people who watch it don't know it's based on Archie. Only the
Right.
people who know it's based on Archie knows it's based on Archie. These tweens are they just see this Riverdale like, oh. So I think that's why it keeps going. But for fans of Archie, they kind of like it and they accept it for what it is. Apparently, it goes like a crazy fucking. It just goes crazy every season. So even my interest is peaked. But at first, I was like, "The fuck, this is not Archie." But
Anytime I hear about that show, I always think of the scene from Chasing Amy where they're talking about Archie comics.
mhm.
It just makes me think of that. He's like, Archie and Jughead were lovers. He goes, shut the fuck up.
D players like my brother played all the Max Payne games and he saw the movie and he was like, "What the fuck?" Yeah, like it was there, but it wasn't. It was. I think trying to combine both games when it should have just been the first one. But it was just
For
missing
sure.
all the shooting. I don't know, man. Like those, like it was there, but it wasn't. But it
Yeah.
was there. It's hard to explain, guys. So yes, I think it's possible to make a Max Payne. Um, you just have to have the right people and the right love. You just have to have people who truly have passion for it.
Right.
And you could. I mean, even if it's done as a series, I'll accept it.
Mhm.
Even if it's done as a series, I'll accept it. But yeah,
See, they keep talking about doing a Splinter Cell movie or a series, and I'd be so down for that if they do it correctly. Like they have to get Splinter Cell, not like what they did with Hitman. Like they'd have to really have the right people to do to keep it true to the game.
yeah, no, definitely. And with a series is always more. There's always more hope because you have a more time to flesh out a story.
Mhm.
And more time
Especially
to,
backstory.
yeah. So you have more with a series. So I'm always welcome that. I'm now have to see and hope that the Uncharted movie comes out really good
Mhm.
because I love those games and um I want them to be good. It's like back in the day when we saw Tomb Raider as a movie. You're like, oh, I hope that would be good. And the first one was. The second one, I think, went a little bit too far from what I remember. So the Uncharted is like, it's so hard with Uncharted though, because this is gonna be hard to sell because a lot of people just saw um that character as Nathan Fillion. You know,
Yeah.
it's gonna be really hard to see Tom Holland in the role. The trailer looked promising. Marky Mark without the Sully mustache is not promising, but I think there was a picture of him with the mustache. So if it plays out like the games, and this is really early on when and that's what it looks like. This is early on when he first meets Nathan Drake, then yeah, it could work because Sully, I don't think had a mustache then, and he's whatever. But if at the end he has a mustache and blah blah, then we can work with that, and I can work with that. I'll accept any changes as long as it's there. But I'm very hopeful, and I'm really excited for the Halo series coming.
Yes,
That's
that's gonna
something.
be awesome.
Yeah, and there's always word of a freaking Mass Effect movie around the corner or something like that. So I'm always excited for something like that, as long as they do it well.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Just
all.
like Gotham, we waited 5 seasons to get Commissioner Gordon's mustache.
Exactly. Remember, and then they took it off anyways.
Yep.
Little bitch. Speaking of Gotham, oh my god. So remember that I still watch these CW shows, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Supergirl finished, and I finally got to see it. Ugh. I don't know why I kept watching. I
Is
don't
it
know
good
why.
or bad?
Uh,
Sounds bad.
it was just trying too hard, and it just made no sense. Like everybody and their mama showed up in the final fight. I was like, what? Like literally, everybody and their mama. Fucking Supergirl's mama showed up with a shotgun. That like if that was
Oh
a
my god.
joke, if that was a fucking joke, I get it now. But at that time, I was just like, what the fuck? And I don't know. The whole time I was thinking, I was looking at it, and then when it finally ended, I was just thinking like, bruh, I watched Smallville for 10 years, and that had the most beautiful fucking season finale.
Mm-hmm.
I watched Gotham for 5 years, and that had a fucking great season finale or series
Great.
finale.
Yep.
The fuck was this?
How did it end? Because I'm probably not gonna watch it.
It ended, because I also realized that these shows is never just the hero by themselves. They had to have like a fucking super team. Even the
Yeah,
Flash
all
is
of
like
them.
him and 20 motherfuckers. It's like, all right, I get it.
That's what turned me away, especially with Arrow, because anybody that knows me knows that I fucking loved Arrow. But when he started getting like this huge posse and like two different tech people, and one of them has braids, and then other times he doesn't have braids, and it got confusing and way just too much. And then one season he had superpowers, and then they took him away. It just didn't make sense.
Yeah, yeah. And I went through those. I went through all that shit. And one thing that saved that show was the crossovers, but also the fact that the fight scenes were still good.
Oh yeah.
The fight scenes were really good in Arrow. But yeah, this one it was just that was a lot of fucking like hope and this and hope and fucking team and resolving shit and hope. And then at the end it's just like what? Cat comes back, gets Catgo, knows that it was Supergirl the whole time, gives her the fucking head position of the shit, and then she reveals to the world she's Supergirl. So she doesn't have to wear the glasses anymore.
Yeah, which was such a disguise.
And I'm like, all right. Alright, whatever. Not to fucking like it was a fun ride, but it was nothing to shit on the people there either because the guy who played the Martian Manhunter was fucking great.
Oh, he's phenomenal.
Yeah, Supergirl was great. The guy who played Brainiac was great. Everybody was great, but it's just like the show just kept going and then there's nowhere to go and then it stopped. And now I have to watch the final season of Flash. And yeah, at least Legends of Tomorrow, like I said, Legends of Tomorrow is fucking beautiful because that show realize what it is and it just has fun every fucking episode.
Exactly.
And that's what matters to me. But I highly recommend people watch the new Hawkeye series because
Oh yeah, I need to jump into that.
yes, it's good. It's good. 2 episodes out so far, another episode coming this fucking Wednesday. Oh, D Player asked if I seen the fan film with Nathan Fillion, and yes, and that was Uncharted, but it was also kind of like, because he's older.
Yeah.
So it's like it was older. So it played out like it was an older Nathan Drake, but you wish that it was fucking 20 years ago and it was Nathan Fillion doing an Uncharted movie. You just wish.
True. What's the guy who plays Hawkeye? Jeremy Renner? Is that his name?
Jeremy Renner. Yeah.
Renner. Yeah, I watched all the Jason Bourne movies except for his yesterday because
Why
I
not
heard it
his?
wasn't good.
Because it wasn't good. I remember it being. I remember it being. Yeah, enjoyable. I guess
But is there like any ties to Jason Bourne in it?
it. It's in the universe. They mention Bourne. It's just I think it was that he's just another like he's like Bourne, another member of that shit, and they were dealing with him. I haven't seen it since then, so I can't really back it up. But if I were to watch the Bourne movies again, which I was thinking about it, I would definitely watch that one too because it's there, you know.
See, I watched all of them but that one because I heard it wasn't any good.
Eh, that's fair enough. That's like people who watch. Well, no, even then I'll tell them to watch it because it's still part of that shit and canonical. But it's like people who watch all the Fast and the Furious, but they'll skip like Tokyo Drift because they consider it being the worst one.
Yeah, I didn't like that one either.
You see, that was good because that was around the time that shit was in for us at least the whole
Right.
drifting. So it was around that time. I was like, yeah, it's cool, but yeah, I can understand because there was none of the main characters and whatnot. Well, at least Vin Diesel at the end. But then that tied into the whole freaking universe as it is, and it goes back to that, and you see why he was there and blah blah. But then you watch like Fast 9, and you're like, what the fuck? Han survived because, all right, man, whatever. You just accept it for what. That's a movie that you just accept it for what it is, and you just have fun with it. But you see, you don't have to compare that to anything. It's just fast movies are fast movies. You don't have to compare it
Exactly.
to anything.
Well, tell people where you can find us.
Hey, you can find us at machineroompodcast.com. And that's your one-stop source to everything Machine Room Podcast. Or
Everything.
if
There's
and
even
there
a
you
store
will.
on there if you like our logo. We got a logo on a shirt. We
There
got
you go.
other shirts.
Yeah, man, we got merch.
Yep.
We got some merch. Wear a t-shirt. I should get a t-shirt. Wear a t-shirt. Oh shit! I didn't notice you can see the little squid over here.
Yeah.
The corner. Pissed the fuck off, man. Pissed the fuck off that all these people don't enjoy fucking Cowboy Bebop. How dare they?
It's beautiful, and I want to watch it again, which I probably will.
Yeah, I'm definitely watching it again. This time I'm gonna try to see if she'll watch it with me, but I'm definitely gonna watch it again. It's fun. It's such a good fucking ride, man.
From start to finish, it just
It's
grabs a hold of you. It just doesn't let go.
it's so fun. People
Same
need
thing
to.
with Ghostbusters. Please go see Ghostbusters. They kind of hint that they could do a sequel from there, so please go see it so we can get a sequel.
Definitely, definitely. If you're a fan of Ghostbusters, this movie is exactly for you. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and not to knock off the one with the all-female crew because that one is still good as it is. But
Still
this is
never seen it, and I own it.
you own it. I say give it a shot because like I said to me, Kate McKinnon is the whole star of that movie, you know? But the movie is more of a more comical kind of take on everything, you know? Let's say it's an alternate universe of Ghostbusters.
Okay,
Just
that
take it
makes
like that,
sense.
you know? There's a Ghostbuster multiverse, and this is the one where these characters are played by them, you know?
Right.
So, but yeah, check this one out. It's really good if you're a big fan of that. And then maybe it'll have you go home and then you're like, I want to play the Ghostbuster game. And you'll be playing the Ghostbuster game for a couple hours.
See,
Like
now I
I
need to
did.
buy that.
Oh, definitely. So good. Bill didn't even like the female Ghostbuster. No, she did it. So you could catch us at Real Machine Room Podcast on Twitter, Real Machine Room on Facebook, Real Machine Room on YouTube, and not the Instagram. If you're watching this right here, that Instagram shit, don't even
It
you
don't
look.
work.
We can't even get into it. It was a whole big fuck up. Don't worry about it. But yes, go check out Ghostbusters and check out Hawkeye. I recommend it. We both recommend you to see Cowboy Bebop. Take it for what it is. Don't be a dick. Enjoy it. It's fun. The dialogues are great. It's funny. It's action packed. It's a sci-fi cowboy western.
Mm-hmm.
What else do you want? You know?
Everything you
And
love from the show is there.
everything you love from the show is there, plus more.
Way more.
Plus more. Damn it. They gave me what I wanted, and that's more about the Syndicate, more about Spike, more about Vicious and Julia.
Yes, lots more.
Jesus Christ. And then hopefully next time you come here and watch us, you'll agree with us and not be a dick about it. And if you don't, well, then, that's your prerogative and that's your opinion. And I can't do nothing about that. And sometimes I got to accept that. The thing is hard to accept that people have their opinions and you got to accept it. It's just.
You know what those people should do? Go start their own podcast.
Yeah.
Go have a platform for your opinions.
Yeah. And then I'm going to listen to it. And then I'm going to be like, I'm not going to listen to this shit anymore because I don't agree with them. That's what I do with some podcasts. I'm like, yeah, this episode's good. Yeah, this episode's good. And then they're talking some shit. And I'm like,
goodbye.
What? You don't know. You don't know anything. I listened to one podcast and they were talking about movies and it was real cool, whatever. And then they went to an episode about Power Rangers and they were reflecting on that. But they didn't know shit about Power Rangers to the point that I was so annoyed by it that I was just like, nah, I'm skipping this. Like, I couldn't. When you're calling someone Rita Repulso and I'm like, what the fuck? That's not her name. That was the brother's name. They don't know anything. Anyways, you and Spendog will start their own. There you go. Everybody do a podcast.
Everybody.
And we create the fucking podcast universe. And we all. So, from me, the orange bastard with the freaking pissed off squid, to Hammer Venus, who's over there being Andrew Dice Clay.
That's right.
Hammer Dice Clay.
Hammer Dice Clay. I love that. And put it on jackets.
Yep, that's it. Change your gamer tag. We bid you adieu. We love that you guys are here, and we will check you out next week in the Machine Room Podcast, where we will vent and geek out about whatever else.
And stay tuned for our Christmas episode.
Yes, because we plan on doing another viewing party. So stay tuned for around that. We'll let you know when and where. All right. Peace out, everybody. Good night. And yeah, party on, dudes. Yeah, I would have done the sound effect, but I wasn't ready for it, man. I need like another keyboard just for all that, because right now I'm taking too many spaces. The Machine Room Podcast was recorded in front of people, mostly E players, man.